welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be a review slash tutorial because I'm going to be dyeing my hair finally! Yay! I've been dyeing inside for the last week, more than a week, because my hair looks shocking. Look at it. The roots, the blonde. This is what going on holiday does to your hair. Yay! To be fair, my roots needed doing anyway, but the blonde is being in the sun for 2 weeks. Joy of joys! So yes, I'm going to be reviewing a new product that I haven't used before, which is the new-ish hair dyes from Lime Crime. And they've got like a huge range of, well, not a huge range, but like a decent range of colours. And they have basically, I couldn't really afford to buy Arctic Fox at the moment. I still have half a bottle of my Purple Rain, which I do adore, but it has gotten increasingly expensive for me to buy it. And so I kind of went on a hunt for something that would be cheaper and that was still the kind of colour that I was looking for. Now, that task was mostly impossible because there seems to be, there's just, I don't know, there just didn't really seem to be anything like that. Like, I've struggled with it for a long time. Like, the Directions hair dye that I use don't have a purple that I like, or don't have a purple that is close enough to what I want anyway. Like, they do have purpley shades, but they're more blue based and I don't like that. I like more pinky reddy based purples. So I found this one, and they're still an American brand obviously, but it was a lot cheaper to buy the Lime Crime hair dyes than it was to buy Arctic Fox, because I mean, for the 8-ounce bottles of Arctic Fox you're looking at roughly, well, I mean, the bottles aren't necessarily that expensive on the website. They're about like $13.99, around that, I think. Don't quote me. I think they're about that, I think. And then the problem is the postage. You're then paying like £9 plus for shipping. And so you're literally spending over £20 on one bottle of hair dye. And the issue is although I can get it on Amazon, it's still £20 on Amazon. And I'm like, heh. So I can't really win with it at the moment. So hopefully, if like last Christmas, hopefully if like last Christmas, they do like a kind of shipping deal, because when my mum bought it there was something on, and I think around more holiday times, like bigger holiday times, they do more deals on the shipping. So hopefully they will, because then that means that my mum can maybe bulk buy me some, because I do adore Arctic Fox. It's such a lovely brand. The people behind it are really lovely. From, kind of like, I follow their social media, etc, and I think I would just have an issue with being able to get hold of it over here. Like, it's very expensive in the long run. But anyway, so basically I'm going to first show you what I do when I bleach my hair, because obviously you can see that needs doing. I'm going to bleach the underneath layer of my hair, because obviously, although you can't tell as well now, I've got pink hair like half underneath and then the rest of it's purple. So I'm gonna bleach all the pink, like fully saturate that, and then on top, on the purple half, I'm just going to do like all my roots all the way through. Because I'm changing my pink colour, because my mum was really lovely and bought me these hair dyes, because although it worked out cheaper, there was more than one that I liked, and although I could have afforded to buy one, she treated me to both of them, and I've been like doing stuff over the last week to kind of like help out at home, and she said if I did that then she'd get them for me, which was really lovely. I love my mum. Anyway, so yeah, so I'm gonna, because in the last video I didn't really have the time to show you the bleaching process, and I don't think I was doing it that time. If I was, I just didn't have time, but if I did, then I don't think I was doing it that time. I think my hair was fine, I had already done it recently. So I'm going to be showing you, I know it's like a simple process, but I'm going to be showing you how I'm doing it, like how I saturate it and then how I just do my roots, because obviously I'm doing both. So I thought it'd be a good opportunity to just show you what I do and what I use to do it. And then when I get the hair dye, because I still haven't received it, although hopefully I should be getting it either today or tomorrow, which is when I will film the colour part of this hair dye tutorial. So I'll show you the hair dyes when I get them, but for now I'm gonna show you what I do when I bleach my hair, which is a fully exciting process, and no it's not, but I'm gonna show you anyway, because I thought it'd be cool to do a more in-depth hair tutorial, considering I live and breathe being a human crayon. Anyway, so the hair dye that I use, well, the bleach that I use is the Jerome Russell Be Blonde in the 30 volume. This is the cream peroxide, and then with it you mix the High Lift powder bleach. Basically it's 1 sachet of this to 1 bottle of this, and but in the boxes you get 4 sachets. I've got 2 left at the moment, and I'll have 1 left by the time I finish doing my hair. But I realised that doing it this way with this brand is cheaper, because this is only about £1.69 most of the time, and then this is, I think this is about, it's about £4 a box, but then there's 4 sachets, and to be fair, I was paying £4 to £5 a time using the blonde, like the white blonde lifting Schwarzkopf ones, and so I was like, I'd rather pay for like the 2 separate things and then have it last me longer, because they're in sachets, so I only have to use 1 sachet at a time, and then I only have to buy 1 bottle every time I need to bleach my hair. So it works out a hell of a lot cheaper to do it this way, and to be fair, it's stronger and I prefer it because it bleaches my hair better. Not that the other one didn't, and the other one is good if you want to like lift your hair from a dark brown, because it does that really well. But I find that if I'm just doing like my roots and all over colour, I feel like this is better, especially since a lot of the time I can't get the pink and purple out of my hair. If I was doing like an all over hair job, which I do sometimes because things just get a bit patchy, and so I do like an all over refurb sort of thing once a year roughly. So yeah, but I mean, even this lifts up to 6 or 7 shades, and I found that it's not bad with the pink. Like, it generally bleaches it really well, even though I'm a colour. But then I think that's because it's semi-permanent and not permanent. I think if it was permanent it'd be weird and I'd have to strip it, which is fair enough. But yeah, so these are the ones that I use, and you can go from quite dark brown to blonde, which I think is really good. So this is really strong stuff. And as I say, like, I just realised it was cheaper to buy this every time I needed to do it and not have it be wasted, because this is about enough to do my roots or even an all over hair job. And then obviously there's like and then there's obviously the sachets, so they're lasting me a lot longer because I can just leave them in the cupboard and not worry about it, because obviously once you've mixed peroxide you can't use it again. So anyway, that is that, and now I'm going to move on to dyeing the hair. Really super crazy with my hair all up my head, and I'm going to get started on on dyeing my hair basically. So I have mixed it all up now, and it goes really thick, but if you mix it around again it thins down a bit. It's a very, very thick formula. And so I basically just take a strand, and then I just kind of like rub it through, which is essentially what I do with like pretty much, you know, all the time. But with bleach you don't have to be quite as careful, because I'm just kind of like whacking it all on. So yes, I'm just gonna... I get to a point though where I won't use the brush anymore, because you don't really need to keep using that the whole time. If you're not being like specific about the areas you're trying to get it on, just make sure you kind of saturate it to the ends. I would normally like wash my hair with clarifying or like pH balanced shampoo before I do this, but my hair's so washed out anyway, there's not really much point. I know it kind of looks still fairly colourful, but not a lot of wash out comes out anymore. This is just kind of, my hair is very stained because from over the years of dyeing it with semi-permanent hair dyes. all kind of saturated down here, and I've had it on for probably like 40 to 45 minutes. Looks a bit crazy, obviously. Unfortunately as well, I kind of ran out, so I haven't been able to do the top half yet. So I might just leave doing that bit out, because I mean it's fairly, but this is like, obviously you saw what colour it was, so hopefully it'll be fine, and it's gone very, like, obviously it was a bluish sort of tinted dye, so hopefully it's okay. But yeah, this is the bottom half of my hair, so now I'm gonna go and wash it all out. And it's actually the next day because by the time my mum had to go and get me some more bleach because I ran out because I've kind of got longer hair than I'm used to. I've kind of grown it out in the last like half year, and so it's a lot longer than I was used to bleaching, and I bleached like all the bottom of it, so it kind of ran out before I could do the top half which was not great because I really needed to do my roots. So by the time I'd finished everything bleach wise, it was like after 11 o'clock at night so I really wasn't going to film then because people were asleep and I was tired from a full day of sorting this out. Yes, I do realise that I look kind of crazy. I feel like I look a bit like Rogue out of X-Men. Just because of this whole like still have colour in my hair. And she's kind of got this whole like blonde thing going on, but yeah. I'm obviously not quite as pretty as she is, but you know. Anyway. So yeah. So it took way blonder than it normally does. It's got a lot like whiter for some reason. It's never gone quite this blonde before, and I think that might have something to do with having been in the sun, but I feel like I'm still very confused. I had to use 40 volume on my roots up here because my mum couldn't find the 30, and it was super itchy at first, but then it was okay after it sort of like dealt with itself. But it was super itchy at first. But then, to be fair, like, don't always worry if something's just a minorly itchy. Like, it's the burning that you need to worry about. If something's, because bleach is generally kind of itchy anyway, it's just a thing, I suppose. So don't worry if something's like a little bit itchy. Like if it's like burning itchy, or it doesn't go away after a certain amount of time, where you feel like you just, yeah, it's like irritating you too much to the point where you can't handle it, then wash it off straight away. But it wasn't something I couldn't deal with too much. It was itchy, but it wasn't like burning itchy. So anyway, also, what was kind of weird is I received my hair dye last night. Yay! At like 7:30 at night, I was like, okay. We were like, who the hell's at the door at this time of night? We were like, oh, it's actually the people who were delivering my hair dye. Ha! Now obviously the brand of hair dye is Lime Crime, and I'll show you in a sec, but I bought it from the brand Doll's Kill. They're actually, I think they sell Lime Crime, and they also have their own fashion line on there. Not really my style, but they sold the hair dye for slightly cheaper, and it was also on sale, so I bought it from them because I was like, well, I'm saving a bit of money. Well, my mum's saving a bit of money. The shipping and everything was like 2 days late, which I was a bit like, yeah, about, but they let you keep track of the order because it does come over from America. So I was quite pleased about that I could like keep an eye on things and make sure that everything was going okay, like tracking and like shipping wise. So that was really great. I was just a little bit and kind of annoyed that it came like 2 days late, but yeah. Anyway, so now to show you the hair dye that I bought. The purple one I bought, so the brand is actually called Unicorn Hair by Lime Crime, and the purple that I bought is Pony. And I have to say it's like really like vibrant purple. Like, yeah, I mean you can see it like when it's in the light, it's like really purple. So I'm excited to see how this is going to look on my hair. The brand is obviously like Lime Crime are a cruelty-free brand anyway, I think, mostly. But this is certified vegan and cruelty-free, which I think is awesome. Gotta love it when they're vegan and cruelty-free, because it means that no animals are anything to do with this at all. There are no animal-based products in this, and it's not tested on animals, which is amazing. Always gotta love that. So yeah, so that's the shade Pony. And then the pink that, well, the pink is sort of like, I don't know, I describe it as like a smoky pink, but this is the shade Sexed, and it's a very like mauvey smoky pink. So I'm excited to see how this is going to come out. Obviously this is vegan and cruelty free as well because it's the same brand. I'm also fully living for the holographic unicorn heads on top. Ooh. This is what it looks like. There's 200 mils in here, or 6.76 fluid ounces. It smells really perfumey. I don't hate the smell personally. I'm not the kind of person that necessarily hates scent, but it smells a lot stronger, like perfumey scent wise, than the Arctic Fox does. The Arctic Fox smells really like sweet and like grapes, a lot of people say, and I think that too. But yeah, this smells like a perfume. It doesn't smell horrible, I like it, but it's very strong. And the same goes for this one, it smells the same actually. But that's what it looks like in the pot. It's so purple. Ooh, I know, I'm going my finger. I'm really excited to try these. Having said that, what I might be doing is putting some of my, oh look at it, so dirty, putting some of my Arctic Fox in with this so that I'm not like, to like kind of even out a little bit, so I'm not using quite as much of this, only because I do have some of this left, but there's not enough in this for a whole, like the whole top of my head, so I might mix the two together because this is a lot more, this can come out quite a deep purple, and I just want to see what it looks like. I'm not going to add too much of this because I do want to see what this come out like, but I'm just going to be honest, I might be mixing it a little bit. But I will show you what it looks like when I put it on my hair, like on its own. So, and then also, I don't know, I'm going to put this on first, as it is. But then I might use the Arctic Fox diluter and pale it down ever so slightly, because I kind of want it to maybe be like a slightly lighter smoky pink. And I'm thinking that like, because this is a really good diluter, I might use this instead of conditioning, because I haven't used a lot of this, to be fair, so there's quite a lot in here, so I don't mind using it. But yeah, I thought it might be interesting to just lighten this up a little bit. If not on the underneath of my hair, definitely like in my fringe, because I'm going to keep this like streak of sort of pinky colour in my hair, because it went blonde on holiday and I kind of liked it, and so did my mum, so just going to see what happens really. So yeah, so I am going to put those down, and I'm going to get started on dyeing my hair finally. Yay! I'm so excited! I'm going to be a human crayon again! I left all this purple in because I just couldn't be bothered to like fully bleach my hair. Like, my hair's probably like screaming at me anyway, but... And I was like, I'm putting purple on purple, and to be fair, sometimes it's better to have... Sometimes I prefer having a purple base because it just comes out like more solid. And it's got like... And also it means it stops it from being quite as patchy because there's already a colour underneath it. So yeah. So I'm going to start doing my hair now. I'm looking really super crazy now. But I've sorted myself out, and I've got like... So when I do the bottom half, I do like half first and then the other half because it just gets too confusing otherwise. But so I'm just going to take this front strand here, and I've got a little bit of my finger actually. I'm just going to put that on. I'm just going to get my, because I've poured some in here. There's no like diluter in this yet. I'm just going to try it out on its own first. It's very thick. This is definitely one of those products that like spreads better with your fingers. What it looks like. Obviously like wet, but I like it. I think I'm not going to dilute it this time, purely because I'm not sure how light it's going to come out anyway, and that's probably a bad idea because I don't want to like it end up coming out like nothing. So I'm gonna I'm going to do the rest of my hair like this, obviously, and I'll check back with you when I'm done. Now I've finished all the bottom of my hair using the pink colour. I'm not 100% how I feel about it yet. I have to now leave it on for 1 to 2 hours. I mean, it says that you can leave it on for 30 minutes if you want like a pastel-y colour, but if you want like more intense results, leave it on for 1 to 2 hours. So I'll probably leave it on for about 1.5 hours, I think. But well, I'll see how I feel about the formula once it's like finished, but putting it on, it's really like gloopy sort of thick formula. And now it's on, it doesn't smell quite as bad. It actually smells like shea buttery, which is really odd because it smelled so perfumey in the bottle, but now it smells like yeah, so like vanilla-y sort of shea butter smell. I think it might be giving me a minor headache just because it is quite a strong smell, but I'm not like overly phased by it. But if you don't like scents, I'm not entirely sure you're gonna like this because it is really strong. But as I say, do you know, the formula is so like thick to put on your hair, and although it spreads really nicely, it's kind of patchy putting it on, because it doesn't really like, I don't know, it doesn't sit where you spread it around, but there is still like, because obviously it was blonde, like I could really see where it wasn't taking properly. Hopefully, like the longer I leave it on, it might be that it's kind of where I first put it on, it's not quite as intense, but then the longer it stays on, it will be more intense in colour and the blonde will sort of disappear, which obviously that's kind of what it's meant to do. But usually when I put on dyes, it's more of an automatic thing, like I can see that it's on my hair, whereas this, it's kind of harder to know where it's gonna be when it comes out colour wise. As I say, it's come out slightly lighter in terms of putting it on my hair than I thought it would, but hopefully that's okay, because I didn't want it to be too dark either, which is good. But yeah, it's really like sticky on your hands and stuff, which is okay, but I don't know, I've just never used a dye like it, like ever, because the Arctic Fox is a very different consistency. And I mean, so what I'll do is like, I'll see if the purple is obviously any different in like consistency and how it goes on my hair, which hopefully it is, because it's a darker colour. It might be that because it's a lighter colour, it's just a different kind of consistency going on my hair. So I'll see the difference with the purple and I'll let you know when I do that, and I will show you everything dry and stuff like that later on when I finish the purple. But I thought I'd give you an update on the on how it looks now. Just sort of, it's like, I mean obviously this is like in the shade, but it's not too bad. It's not as bad as I thought it would. Like, this was the first bit of hair I did obviously, and it was kind of patchy at first, but now it's starting to take a little better, so fingers crossed it looks okay when it's finished. Oh, I'm finally done with the purple. I ended up getting my mum to help me because we're actually redoing the pink, because yeah, I'll see how it comes out the second time, but and it wasn't horrible, and it was just not quite as nice as I thought it would be. So we're doing it again to see if it helps, because it was a little bit patchy as well. But I'm going to give my overall final thoughts at the end when all this is sorted and washed out and everything. But I have to say I did definitely prefer the purple dye. I did put Arctic Fox in the pony. It's covered in dye now. I did put some Arctic Fox in. There was more this than that, but to be fair, like, I mainly did it because after the way I felt about the way the pink one felt, I just felt like maybe putting something else in it would also help the texture. But to be fair, I feel like this one's a lot more pigmented and kind of like, well, yeah, I just feel like it's doing a better job anyway. So hopefully it comes out really nice. And so yeah, so we'll skip to the bit where you see my hair done, because it will be like, yeah, anyway, so yeah, I will let this sit for, probably gonna let this sit for like an hour and a half again, although I've let this pink sit for 2 hours this time, because I feel like it needs as long as it can get. So for this video I filmed a kind of final thoughts last night, but I decided to film it again, and I'm going to put this version in instead, because I thought my hair was dry enough to kind of like see what it looked like, and to be fair, I kind of like how my fringe looks. It kind of looks interesting, like, I don't know, yeah, it doesn't look horrible. But I've woken up this morning and realised quite how, you can see it more on this side, but quite how patchy this is. And considering that my mum smothered my hair. I am not all that impressed. Like, you can see, I mean, even from the top, you can see like it's a different colour here, and then it goes like a different colour here to here, and then it's a different colour like, ooh. It's a different colour by the roots, and then kind of this side, it's not great all kind of here, and it's just not very consistent. And then this, like, I don't hate it, but it's not the colour that I expected it to be, and it's nowhere near as nice. It's so much more grey, and as lovely as that colour is, it's, I don't know, there's something so like dull about it, and it should be more pink than that, and it's really not, because it looked more pink in the pot. It looked more pink in the pot, and kind of, I don't know, I feel like it just did, and it's not nowhere near the colour that it should be. Do you know what I mean? Like, I expected it to be really nice, and it's not. So I've decided that I'm not going to keep, I'm going to keep the fringe, because actually I think that's kind of cute, but that's about the only place I like it. And I'm not going to go over the purple yet, because I'm not like worried too much about it, but I think I'm going to get rid of this and go over it with my pink hair dyes that I've got, which I'm really annoyed about, because I was hoping this would be nice, and I'd had watched reviews on it, like YouTube reviews, and I'd seen somebody use the purple hair dye and it looked really nice, which is kind of why I bought it. But yeah, I'm gonna say I'm not gonna recommend these, because they've been more faff than it's worth, and at the end of the day I don't want to buy a hair dye that's gonna take me twice to get it to like this colour, and I mean I'm gonna have to do parts of this again as well. So, and I mix this, and to be fair, like, I'm concerned that the only reason it's come out nicer in places is because I put Arctic Fox in it. I've never ever ever had an issue with my Arctic Fox, and as expensive as it is, I think I'm just gonna, like, it's not that I was gonna like change, but having said that, if I'd have found out that it was really nice, I would have considered buying it again. But I've decided that that's really, really not gonna happen, because I've just, yeah, I don't want to do my hair like 3 million times. It takes me long enough as it is. So yeah, I'm just not overly impressed. I mean, it doesn't look horrible, but at the same time, I don't know, it just wasn't really the look I was hoping for. So I don't really approve of these that much. If you want good hair dye, buy Arctic Fox or Directions or any of the other ones that are really established as good brands of hair dye. I know things like Manic Panic are really good for people, like people have been using those for a really long time and stuff like that. So as I say, I know this is a newish brand, but they need to make them more pigmented and more even and things like that. I'm really not that impressed, to be fair. It looked better last night, which is why I'm kind of refilming this, because I wanted to show you what it looked like really like proper dry, like after a night's sleep. But yeah, so not really approved, guys, unfortunately. But thank you so much for watching. Like, comment, subscribe if this was any help, because you were thinking of getting it and wanted to know what it looked like on, etc, etc. But yeah, so I will see you in the next one. Bye guys.